everyone. For Chapter 4's mini lecture, the learning objective I chose to talk about is describe the general structure of a neuron and the types and functions of neurons. A neuron is a nerve cell, which is the basic component of a nervous system, and it basically receives and sends information through the entire nervous system. So the structure of the neuron basically consists of an axon, dendrites, myelin, and a soma, and many other parts. But we're more specifically going to focus on the dendrites, the axon, and the myelin. So if we're looking at the left side, the little branches that kind of look like tree branches, these are called dendrites. And they're just basically extensions from the neuron cell body that receive neural impulses from other neurons. Then if you see what the axon is pointing at, this is basically just nerve fibers that are extensions from the neuron cell body that transmit neural impulses to other neurons, structures in the central nervous system or muscles, and a neuron has only one axon. Moving forward to types of neurons. So on the far left, it kind of got cut off, but the far left is going to be our motor neurons, our middle is going to be our sensory neurons, and our right is going to be our interneuron. Starting on the far left, we're going to be talking about the motor neuron, and there are actually two types of motor neurons that influence the control of movement. So one, alpha motor neurons, and then the other one is gamma motor neurons. Alpha motor neurons are predominantly found in spinal cords. They're usually usually referred as motor horn cells. And then when we're talking about the gamma motor neurons, they supply a portion of the skeletal muscle called intrafusal fibers. The motor neuron's function is it sends neural impulses from the central nervous system to the skeletal muscle fibers. So moving on to the next one, we're going to be talking about the sensory neurons and their role of receiving information from various sensory receptors in the body. Sensory neurons function much like transducers in electronics in that they receive a neural signal that then converts the electrical signal that can be transmitted along the neural pathways and received by the central nervous system. And lastly, we have the interneuron, so the far right. And these specialized neurons originate in the brain or spinal cord. They function as connections between axons descending from the brain, and they sympathize on motor neurons and axons from sensory nerves and the spinal nerves ascending to the brain.